Hello everyone and welcome back to part 6 of the English Bull Terrier tutorial here on YouTube. So if you haven't been joining me for the rest of this tutorial, I'll link to part 1 down below so that you can go and start from the beginning. But otherwise, everything else you need to know is in the description down below, including all the pencils, paper, everything like that. And we'll just get started on this next part. Okay, so I've zoomed you out so that you can see the whole ear on this bit, and I think what I'll do first is I'm going to go in with Dark Sepia 175. I quite like to just create a guideline around the edges so that I can see where everything is. It's like a little bit that comes up here, and then I'm just going to carry on around here. Very, very lightly. Up here, this little bit, like a bit of a shadow. Just map that in. And up over the rest. Just sort of like broken lines. I don't do very like strong lines for stuff like this. And add a little bit up here. Just so that I can see where all the different bits are. Right, that'll do for now. And I realised that I didn't use the Pablo colour on the pink bit. You know, like the purpley colour that we used for near the eye. I think that would work really nicely. So I'm going to try a little bit of Cocoa from the Pablos and see how that looks if I like blend it into the ear a little bit. Give it that slight purple tone. Hope that you're all doing really well. I feel like it's been a while since I've uploaded a part for this tutorial. Just been busy getting on with Patron, and Paddy wasn't well a couple of weeks ago, and I just wasn't in the mindset to film, and yeah, it just got put on the back seat a little bit, but it's much better now. He had well, we don't really know what it was, but we think he was bitten by an insect or stung by one, maybe like a horsefly or something. He had like a little swollen ball on his leg and he wasn't being himself. He was being very quiet, very sleepy, which isn't like him at all. And then the next day it just completely like swelled up over his whole shoulder and stuff. It was horrible. It was like full of liquid. So we took him to the vet, and the vet didn't really know what it was. She said it looked like it was filled with pus, so she gave us like antibiotics and stuff, and then it went down, but it was just horrible. I was really worried about him. He was just like fast asleep under my desk all day, looking really sad, which just isn't like him. Usually he's running around causing absolute chaos, so we knew straight away that it wasn't right. This is working nicely, just to blend all these colours in. So just working on going over that a bit, just to blend it all in. Okay, and then I'm going to carry on bringing that base colour upwards. So I used the white to begin with, so don't draw in Chinese white. So just, oh gosh, I've just smudged a little dark area. Just get rid of that. There we go. Bring that up. Smooth that grain out a little bit. I'm not going right to the edge though, because there is more of like a cold colour around there. Blending it around here. And then I'm just gonna tidy up the edges, and I'm gonna use the cold grey one. Oh, I'll just add a little bit more of this here first. There we go. Yeah, and then cold grey one, 230, just around the edge. Blend that gradually into the white so it's nice and seamless. Blend that down a bit there. Basically just going around the edge, blending inwards. Okay. Then I'm going to use the beige red or light flesh 132, and I'm just going to lightly blend that into the pink areas just to get that base colour. So I'm going to leave it a bit lighter there where there's that little highlight. I'm barely pressing at all, it's just enough to get a pale coverage. And then I'll bring it up here. Just making sure I go over it and blend it all in nicely. I suppose if you wanted to, you could go back over it with the white just to smush it all in. There we go. And then I'm gonna go in with the Cocoa again. And I'm just going to start bringing that up here a little bit, really lightly. Such like a funny colour to try and get right in the ear. Just really lightly, just adding that little bit of shadow there. where it sort of like has this little light bit. And then I'm going to just start bringing it up here a little bit. Just doing some little strokes. I think we do need that slightly more pink undertone first before applying the cocoa, so I'm going to go back to the brownish orange from the Pablos, and I'm just going to start to layer a little bit more of that in really lightly. Start building up the sort of 3D shape of the ear a little bit more. So just, again, just barely touching the paper, just going over it again and again to blend it in. Blend it in here. Blend it in round here. I'm hoping that the slice tool will work for those little orangey hairs. So I'm just going to layer over the whole thing. I'm holding my pencil quite like far down, just so I've got a nice loose grip on it. It just helps when you're trying to work lightly. So just keep blending it in. I went camping last weekend and it was so nice to get out and just be outdoors, and I think it's really good for like your mental health and stuff, so I would love to do stuff like that more often. Thinking about like getting all the gear for it and stuff, because if you don't have any plans, it's just like, oh, we could just go camping this weekend, as long as the weather's nice. So yeah, I think that's something I'd like to do more of. We went to Coniston in the Lake District. It's just so nice, I love the Lake District, and it's only like an hour from our house, so I really need to make the most of it. I feel like I don't go enough. I'm really lucky to live like so close. I'm just bringing it out here. And I'm going to bring some up here as well. Oops, need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I always forget to do that. You could probably even go in and just like blend it with the white a bit more if you wanted to. Let's see how it looks once I've added all of this in. I'm just sort of forming like the shape of everything at the minute. Add a little bit here. feel like it's taken me a while. I've become a little bit conscious of how long things take me, because I've had a couple of different comments on some of my videos like, why does it take you so long to do something so basic? And I'm just like, I hope I'm not taking too long to do stuff, but then I'm not going to rush and like do something I'm not happy with because of like not taking the time to do it properly. So yeah, I've become a little bit conscious about that. Bring it down here. A little bit up there. I think you just can't rush blending, like, you can, but it won't look as good. I just like to make sure it looks right. Might use the white again just to blend that in a little bit. It's fine using the white over like these sorts of colours because I am actually trying to dull it down a little bit. I only ever burnish when I don't mind it changing the sort of colour and tone, because it does make it a bit more dull, a bit less vibrant. So in this situation I don't really mind. Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to add some nougat now. I think I'll go in with a bit of nougat before some burnt umber. So 178. I'm going to start darkening up this area with the browns first. Do some little strokes to blend it in. So I think using the nougat first helps to like get that seamless transition. It's not too dark. So I'm just building that up. Blending it up into that cold grey area. Might even just like shade it in a little bit. Just to speed things up a tad. I'll be layering over it anyway, so I can create the texture with like the darker colours. Felt really croaky then. So I'm just building that up. Oops, I did that a bit dark. Okay, I might do the little cold grey bit first and then I can see exactly how dark to go with this bit. Just always like to do the sort of like guideline areas first, like the outside areas. So I'm going to go in with the Pablo dark grey. I'm going to sharpen it a bit actually. And I'm just going to start adding little hairs into this outside bit. Blending it into the brown. Do some little bits coming off the edge as well. Little hairs. It's going in different directions. And I'm bringing it all the way up. He had a little cut there when I took the picture, so he did lose a little bit of hair, but I'm just going to pretend like that wasn't there. Bring it all the way around. Right, and then I'm going to carry on blending these strokes through. And get down a little bit here. It's like a little bit of a lighter bit around the top sort of edge. Blend it down a bit here. And then I'm going to just bring it down this right hand side. Down here a little bit. So it all looks very like flat at the minute. There's not a lot of actual like depth going on, but we're just establishing those sort of base areas, getting the first bit of texture in. Add a little bit here. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the Payne's Grey 181 and I'm going to start adding a little bit more of this on top. So I'll just start to darken those hairs up a little bit. blend it downwards. Do a little bit more on the edge as well. Just lots and lots of little fur strokes. Blend it all in. It's still not pressing hard. Doing my mixture of like upwards and downward strokes too. Blend it down. Do the edge. Blend it in a bit more. Just going to darken it up a bit on that right hand edge. And I'm just going to add a bit more around here. Okay. And then I'm going to add a bit of black 199. And once again, just darken up some of this fur. Sort of blending it through the middle of like these bits and these bits just to bring it all together. add a little bit around the edge here. Okay, I'll leave it there for now, and then I'm gonna go in with the burnt umber 280. Gonna start darkening this bit up, so just going over, darkening it up. Still very lightly, I don't want to go too dark just yet. I'm just gonna keep going over and over until it's the nice sort of depth that I want. I'm bringing it down here. Just going to shade it in a little bit. I'm going to blend it out a bit on the edge. Then I'm going to go in with the Pablo Cocoa pencil and then add that slightly like purpley tone in there. Just blending all those colours together. Just going to keep going over it. Just adds that slight purpley tone. I'm not pressing hard, I just want to really gently blend it in. think we'll need some dark sepia to like really darken up this bit. But I'm just going to start to do some little strokes and blend from the brown area outwards, as it's a bit more like just purpley up here, but I want it to look seamless, so I'm just starting from the brown area and just blending outwards into the pink, so I get a nice smooth transition. And I'm going to start blending from the top downwards. And filling in this gap with the cocoa. There we go, it's looking good. Try and blend it in a bit more. Right, and then I'm going to do some dark sepia to darken this bit up. See how dark I need to go with it, and then I'll do a bit more on this right hand side. So dark sepia 175, and just going to start to build that up in here. Blending it into that orangey bit a tad. And just darken up this whole area. A little bit more definition around these hairs. Just have to like keep going over and over it. So it's going to take a while to make sure it's all nice and blended. I even have to add a bit more down here. Definitely need to layer a bit more up around here. That's starting to look really good though. I like the colour combination. Oh, I just need to switch my battery over. There we go, I'm hoping that's in pretty much the same place. I'd love to have a camera that you could just like plug in while you're filming, but this one you have to like charge the battery up separately and then put it in when it's run out, so. Layer a bit more of this up. And a bit more down here. Just keep going until you feel like you've got the right depth and it's all blended. Definitely need a bit more around here. Yeah. Shade it a little bit. Then I might add a little bit more cocoa. Just layer that up a bit more. Just applying the slightest bit more pressure. Might even just shade that a little bit too. Bring it down here a bit more. And just add a little bit around here. And I might just add a little bit more beige red. 132. Blend a bit more pink in there. Right, I'm going to add a bit more Nougat 178. I'm just going to blend a little bit around here. Very, very lightly. Swirling it around, just like shading it in a little bit. Try and build up this colour. And here. And here. So I'm just trying to sort of push this area in a little bit to create more of a 3D shape. Add a little bit more around here. And I'm going to blend a bit more around here. Maybe a bit up here. Okay. And I might add a bit more black, 199. Just darken up this bit. And I might just add a little bit more burnt umber 280. Just blend it down here a little bit more. Okay, and I'm going to use the slice tool now to start picking out some of those little orange hairs. So I'm just going to start adding some little hairs. The slice tool works well on this paper when it's like a really dark area, but not so well on like lighter bits. I'm just making sure I'm following the direction of the little hairs. Trying to be quite loose with my strokes so that they look more natural. Doing different directions. I'm just going to add a few here. Do some little bits coming up here. And a few more bits. Just blending up into that lighter area a tad. And then I'm going to go over those little hairs with the burnt ochre to add like an orangey tone to them. So 187, just going to like blend that over those little hairs. And then if need be, go back in with like the black or dark sepia. I'll try dark sepia first, so 175, just to sort of define some of them a tiny bit more. Might add a tiny bit more black. 199. Darken up this bit a little bit more. And some little hairs just sort of coming down a bit. darken up these bits. And I'm going to darken up these bits. Just applying a tiny bit more pressure. Blending it down. Bit more here. Bit more up here. And I'll darken up this bit. And then here, where there's this like little shadowy bit, just gonna add a bit of a line. And I'm gonna add a bit of nougat, 178. Just add a bit of a base colour. It's quite browny toned, I suppose, so I think this should work well. A bit of burnt umber, 280. Bit of dark sepia, 175. Then I might just go over that with the black 199 a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to continue just adding a bit of black down here. Add a little bit there. And I'm going to add some burnt ochre, 187. Just want to add a bit more of this orange fur here. Might even add a tiny bit here. It's like a slight orangey colour. A little bit more around there. And I'm going to add some more cocoa. I'm going to add a bit here. Going to add some here. And here. A bit more around here. You could just keep going forever and ever with all these different colours. I don't think I'm too far off now. A little bit more there. I'm going to add some more around here. Try and blend it all in a bit more. I add a little bit of dark sepia 175, just to blend it in a bit more around here. Maybe a little bit just there. I might add a tiny bit of burnt umber to 80, just around here, so I like coming down like this, so there's a slight bit of texture I can see. Add a little bit here. Add a little bit here. Blending it into this area a little bit. Add a little bit more here. So I mean, it's up to you how far you want to go with it. I think I'll probably stop soon because I'm happy with how it's looking, and you don't always need to add every little bit of detail. Just add a bit more through here. And I might just use the slice tool just here at the bottom on these like lighter grey hairs, just a little bit. Doesn't want to do it on there. Didn't really do a whole lot. What I might do instead is just use the dark sepia 175 just to go around them a bit and add a bit more definition, make them stand out a bit more. That's a bit better. And just add a little bit more here. and the tiniest bit more, black 199. Just on the edge, and a little tiny bit more in here. Okay, I think I might leave it there for now. Might just add a little bit of Nougat 178, just that bit's a bit too light. I need to tone that down a bit. It's a bit better. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I'm really happy with how that's looking, so I hope you've enjoyed this part with me, and make sure to give this video a like if you did, subscribe to see more videos like this, and I shall see you in the next one. So bye for now.